Happening now, as we told you, there is a big water problem. Mayor Carl Dean right now with officials with Metro Water Services and the Nashville Fire Department talking about the situation. Let's listen in.
Chief Anderson from the police department is also here, and he will speak to enhanced police measures that are being taken. Since this outage has affected such a large part of Davidson County, we have decided to partially activate the Emergency Operations Center starting at 5 p.m. tonight in order to coordinate the work of the various Metro departments involved in addressing this situation. I recognize this is a significant inconvenience to a lot of people in our city, and I assure you that every effort is being made to return water service to normal. Our utmost priority while this situation is being rectified is public safety. Chief Anderson will provide enhanced police coverage, recognizing that homes and businesses may be unoccupied while water service is waiting to be restored. Chief White will position extra fire crews around the city so we are prepared to immediately respond to fire needs due to the lower pressure available in fire hydrants, with extra attention to be paid to high-rises and other multi-residence complexes dependent on sprinkler systems for fire protection. We certainly do not want to cause alarm, but we want residents to know that we are taking this situation very seriously and over-preparing for the public safety needs of our city. I'll now turn the podium over to Scott Potter to talk more about the water supply situation. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to tell y'all what has happened, what the current situation is, and what we're doing to correct the problem. Like the mayor said, this is the affected area. We're already starting to see a little bit of improvement to the water service availability levels in the area, and that will continue to improve provided everyone cooperates with my request to not irrigate, especially this evening. A lot of folks have automatic sprinkler systems in their yards in this area, so I'm asking everyone to go out and turn them off tonight and leave them off until we get this permanent repair, because we've done some fixes that are temporary in effect that I'll show you in just a minute that will help us recover the system. But if we don't have the irrigation systems turned off, then that will be a problem. I want to show you what the current situation is and why we're in this situation, what happened. This is Thompson Lane Pump Station here. It's beside the Home Depot, the Walmart, the CarMax across from Hunter Oaks Mall. The discharge pipe from that pump station failed. It's a 30-inch pipe, and it broke this morning. And the reason that's significant is this pump station feeds all the blue pump stations you see on the map in the affected area. So since this pump station is affected, all the downstream pump stations don't have water to pump. So that's why we're in this problem. So until we get that pipe fixed, these pump stations will have reduced availability of water to pump to the higher elevated areas. So what we're doing to correct that in the meantime, while we're effecting repair, the permanent repair, here's the location of the break. This green section right here is a temporary pump that we're going to install, and this green area right here is a temporary pump we're going to install. And then these blue dots right here are valves that are opening from this pressure zone to feed the affected area from this side of the city this way. This pump station will feed from this side of the city this way, and this pump station will feed from the north part this way. So we have 3 temporary feeds coming into the affected area. So that reinforces my statement that if people will not irrigate tonight and only use water for cooking, bathing, and drinking, then we should be good to go. I really need everyone's cooperation on that, and then I think we'll be able to stabilize the situation, effect the permanent repair, and get back to normal. I'll now turn it over to Chief White.
Thank you, Scott and Mr. Mayor. The things that we've done from a fire protection standpoint has actually been just to beef up our various locations around the periphery and within the periphery of these affected areas. We have transitioned large engines with large tanks into these areas. A traditional engine or Our usual engine has 500 gallons of water on board. We have several that have 1,000. We have transitioned those 1,000-gallon pumpers into this in these affected locations. We're putting special emphasis, once again, as the mayor said, on the high rises. We've actually got our district chiefs going around to the various high rises affected and let them know the situation. We're really concerned about any assisted living or senior care facilities, and we're willing to offer a fire watch throughout the PM areas with one of our trained firefighters to be on duty, wide awake and ready to let us know if a fire occurs. In these types of situations, early warning, rapid response, and aggressive entry, that's the keys to saving life, and we're prepared to do that.
As we do every day, all the metro departments, and especially the water department, the fire department, the police department, will be working together tonight. Police department will have extra resources in the area, one, to assist the water department, any needs they may have, and two, to assist the fire department with any resources they may need. Any citizens with any concerns about anything, call 862-8600, and we'll respond to your location, or we'll get you the necessary information. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Anderson, Chief White, and Scott. As I said earlier, we're doing all that we can to address the situation and continue to meet our citizens' public safety and water supply needs in the meantime. We're optimistic that once the temporary fix that Scott described is fully in place sometime tomorrow, that water pressure will be sufficient for people to occupy their homes and for businesses to open. We're not instructing or encouraging any businesses to close. We're now happy to answer questions that you may have.
Chief White, is there a limit of fires that you feel comfortable you can be able to handle? I mean, obviously you don't want to have to handle any in that area, but if you get 5, is that going to be a problem?
Our local statistics indicate that 90% of our fires are put out with 500 gallons or less of water. The minimum amount of water any engine will send to that scene will have 500 gallons on it, and we're going to boost it up to make sure we got subsequent engines with 1,000 gallons or better on board. And we still do have some water coming out of the hydrants. We have to deal with volume there. We have the capacity to pressurize that water to get it from point A, the hydrant, to point B where the fire occurs.
Mr. Potter, can you explain for citizens why across Davidson County it matters if they don't water their lawn tonight and how everyone is connected?
Okay, well, one thing I need to make clear is if you're not in the yellow area, you're not affected. If you live, let's say, west of Harding, then you're not seeing any kind of interruption to your water service. This is a localized problem due to one specific pump station. So if you live in Jolton, you can water at will because it's not affecting what's happening in this area. We're just asking folks that live in the affected area, generally east of Harding and west of I-65, a little bit of Creve Hall. If you're in that area, don't irrigate tonight. Everyone else is unaffected. And one thing I wanted to point out as well is if people do have a need for bottled water, say they don't have water service at their home, by 5 o'clock this afternoon there'll be a water distribution site set up at Creve Hall Elementary and Hillsborough High School. So this in case there are citizens who don't have water service. I don't think that's the case right now, but we wanted to make sure that was available. And also there's a number, if you can't get to that location to get bottled water, you can call 862-8750 to talk to someone who can get water to you. So I don't think right now I've got people who are completely out of water, but if I do, please call 862-4600 and let us know. That'll help us understand what's happening in the system. But if you're outside the yellow area, you're not affected.
So a pipe like this is a massive pipe deep under the ground. Is it old? What causes something like this big to break?
This pipe was installed in 1973. Generally, when I-65 was constructed, this pipe was put in along with that construction. And the pipe is a bit unusual. It's called PCCP pipe. It's pre-stressed concrete cylinder pipe. And it's the kind of pipe we don't use anymore. It was installed in the 70s and 80s because at the time it was a little bit more inexpensive to put in the ground. And we're finding that it has a propensity for failure like this. So as we replace transmission mains, we don't replace it with this type of material. We put in ductile iron. So that's why it fails. Generally, it's because of corrosion. but we don't know what caused this specific failure because we haven't had time to get in there and look at it yet.
Was this on your radar that this could be old, we need to do something about it?
Again,
Well,
the water outage,
1973
which is affecting hundreds of homes and businesses, including the mall at Green Hills. We've been told that the water may not be back on until tomorrow in some of those neighborhoods. We, of course, will have more on this at 5 and 6 o'clock.